And Justin Van Fleet. By golly, happy birthday, Justin. And Dale and Linda Goodwin. Happy anniversary. And I missed a birthday yesterday. Somebody texted me, AJ Stevens, or a couple days ago on the 18th. AJ Stevens' birthday. There you go. That'd have been Tuesday. Missed that one. But enjoy the wet weather. Ross coming up with the morning blitz, Ross and Connor. Record precipitation on this date. We may just have broken it. 50 hundredths in 1942. And that's right where we're sitting now. And record high 74 in 1974. 4 degrees in 1929. Have a good weekend. See you on Monday.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. In the words of the White House press secretary, President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone. Today, President Trump and New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani will be meeting at the White House. The latter, who refers to himself as a democratic socialist, says he wants to talk to Mr. Trump about making New York City more affordable. We are learning more about the president's latest plan for ending the war in Ukraine. It includes territorial concessions to Russia, and is something the Ukrainians have so far rejected. The president's crime-fighting initiative in Washington, D.C. is in jeopardy. A federal judge says National Guard troops must be pulled off the city streets. However, the order is on hold to give time for an appeal. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 264 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 127. More details, srnnews.com.
Right now in Ukraine, elderly Jews are trapped in unbearable poverty. Galina, she's a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor who has spent her entire life in the same village. She's sick and alone and facing another bitterly cold winter. And today, like every day, she has to decide to spend what little money she has on food, medicine, or heating. No one should have to live like this, but for Galina and so many others, this is the harsh reality. Look, the Bible tells us that when you bless elderly Jews living in poverty like Galina, you will receive blessings in return. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and your generous donation, you can bring hope to those in need. Your gift of just $25 will help provide a food box packed with life-saving essentials that help feed an elderly Jew struggling to survive. Don't delay. Your gift today will help provide the life-saving food and hope that Galina and many like her so desperately need. UrgentIFCJ.org. That's one word, UrgentIFCJ.org, or call now at 866-338-IFCJ, 866-338-4324.
Your home for Goodland High School athletes, the Denver Broncos, Tech Tiger basketball, and the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Connor Schuh. This is Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland, and NWKS Radio.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland, and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. The Colby Community College Board of Trustees announced yesterday that they're going to hold a special meeting at 5 p.m. on Monday, December 1st in the Thomas Hall Boardroom. The purpose of the meeting is to hear vendor presentations regarding the dorm and maintenance shed RFP. It'll be held over Zoom as well for those who are interested but cannot make it in person. Over at Fort Hays Tech Northwest, the tiny home, a house built on campus built entirely by students, is being moved to the softball fields as it's going to serve as the new press box for Tech Tiger softball. The student project was part of the curriculum at the college, built by students in the Fort Hays Tech Northwest Construction Technology and Electrical Technology program. Construction tech instructor Joseph Dobbs encourages the public to go check out the house on the campus over in Goodland, so you can see it over there by the softball fields. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Today, rainfall will continue through the morning, then tapers off this afternoon from the southwest to the northeast. Temperatures will stay chilly in the lower 40s, north winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour, and final rain totals of a half inch to an inch and a half are likely across the area. Tonight, skies will clear, light westerly winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour, lows will drop below freezing. Take caution on wet surfaces, particularly bridges, for ice and slickness. Tomorrow will be the nicest upcoming day with sunny skies, light southwesterly winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour, highs around 60 and lows in the middle 30s. Sunday afternoon through Monday morning, another low pressure system will bring additional rains across the region. Highs will be in the 50s and lows in the upper 30s Monday morning, dropping into the upper 20s Tuesday morning. Tuesday and Wednesday are partly cloudy, stays dry but gets windy, 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts, highs 40 to 45, lows in the upper teens and low 20s. This meteorologist Chris Romick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Fall is here, and so are big savings at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation up to $7,000 off with eligible GMC loyalty. Check out the 26 GMC Arcadia 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. On the Chevy side, the 2026 Equinox is 0% APR, and the 26 Colorado Trail Boss gets $500 customer cash or 3.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. Harvest the savings this fall at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone, he's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon, he'll score. Ball game!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pupping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work. It'll be Davis from the 3. Davis to the 10. Tries to go back to the right at the 20. Got a block at the 25. Spins at the 30. To the 40. Here's right in midfield and nobody there. Davis is going to go inside the 20 to the 10. And he flips into the end zone for 6.
Served by T. Sigler, pulls her setter off. Back set Virginia. Kaboom! Woo-hoo! Jensen to the Vanny deck. 12
And now to Bashir. Called play. Omni has it far side. Here's the drive. Haggerty off the window. Got it. PJ Haggerty in from the right has 31 points.
Left side is Prager to Mass. To Hoiberg. Left to right. Faces up. Reverses left side. Sanford's free on the way. Got it! Bang! A ring! Twice Sanford knocks down a 3. And there's a 7-point run on
Here's
it.
PJ Haggerty. Kicks it to the left. Johnson with the lob. Kamari McGriff with the monster jam.
Happy Friday morning, everybody. November the 21st, a fall wet Friday. My goodness, some real nice moisture out there. I feel like it's been raining at least off and on for, ever since what, 11 o'clock, almost 24 hours off and on a little bit over here. Been a nice moisture, nice rain, really enjoying it. Cool, crisp fall morning here on this November 21st. We're cute this morning on the Morning Blitz. It was wear your favorite college team sweatshirt today to the Blitz.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that looks like a throwback.
We both won yesterday, too.
I saw Ohio State picked up a win over the Broncos of Western Michigan. Nebraska beats, oh gosh, now I'm losing my mind here. Had it in my head.
New Mexico.
There you go, New Mexico. Thank you. I was thinking Mississippi State, but that's who Kansas State played, which, by the way, K-State looked really good last night in their dominant win over Mississippi State. More thoughts on those games coming up a little bit later on in the program as Nebraska and Kansas State will face off in that Hall of Fame Classics championship game or title game, if you want to call that, the winner's game tonight. I'll have some more thoughts on that coming up here. I'd say it's K-State basketball is the talk of the station over here. I've had one of Raleigh's guests come in. Marty came in and visited with me. So I didn't know what to think of his K-State Wildcats. He's a big Wildcat guy. Raleigh comes in and says, boy, is K-State really that good? They look great last night. After they struggled with Tulsa earlier in the week, they got it together against Mississippi State. I don't think Mississippi State has much. I don't think they do. They have one really good player, the Hubbard player.
Yes,
is about
exactly.
all they have. Past that, not much for Mississippi State and Chris Jans. The dentist, Chris Jans, as they like to call it. That's what Rothstein calls him. I don't know where he comes up with that stuff. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, we got a full show ahead for you today. We will be visiting with John Betts of Kansas Pregame Magazine, talking about the high school football playoffs that'll be taking place here tonight across the state, including our very own Weskin Coyotes competing against South Barber in Weskin. And what could be a little wet? I mean, it's going to stop raining before. It's not going to be raining during the game, but could be a little sloggy, little slushy conditions out there possibly in Weskin. So we'll be visiting with him about that game and others coming up on this Friday night to see who will be going to the state title games, as we will have state championship games coming out. Or at least we will know who will be playing for state titles after tonight. We'll get to that. We've also got picks of the weekend and the weekend slate. Connor, how are you doing this morning? You doing well? Well rested, ready and go, charged up?
I'd say so. I mean, I spent a little bit too much time at Walmart last night, though. We had a power outage in Colby. And
really,
I went there just to get milk. I go up to the self-checkout, scan, put my card in, and then all the machines went down.
No, terrible timing. Just terrible.
Yep. And I was standing there for, I think, like a half hour before I gave up.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible. Bad. That's sad. That's a tough deal.
It was brutal.
I have been in a grocery store once myself where, but we had just kind of gotten in there and gotten a few items, and then the power went out, and they're like, well, sorry, unless you have cash, we really can't, can't redo it. So, I mean, I get what's happening there, but yeah, that's tough. I mean, like I said, the card's in there. I mean, you just needed 5 more seconds.
Yes.
And then you would have been clean and clear.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny because I usually go to Dillon's. This is the one time I just decided to switch it up. And of course, Walmart power outage.
So did you go to Walmart and just go straight to milk and come straight out, or did you peruse a little bit through the aisles?
I I pretty much went straight to the milk and straight to the register. So it was a quick trip. It took me less than 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, unfortunately, well, it was supposed to take less than 10 minutes. It took an hour.
Yes. that was a longer visit than anticipated.
How long was the power out in Colby? Or is it just in Walmart?
It was back on like instantly, but all the systems took apparently they take 45 minutes to reboot.
Oh, it was a flicker. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a quick thing. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Interesting. Yeah, that's all right though. I guess you'll get milk today, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, I'm leaving tomorrow for home, so.
Oh yeah, who needs milk? Yeah, don't do that. It's old.
I was hoping I could use it all up between maybe some cereal last night and then some cereal in the morning and maybe a couple other things and just do away with the rest. But I don't think it's in the cards now.
Yep. So did you have cereal last night with water?
No, I just didn't. I was just going to use that just as an excuse to get milk, kind of.
Tough night last night for Connor Schuh. That's tough. Yeah.
No milk.
I woke up this morning to my middle son, Banks, who's usually not a morning person. He's usually kind of the last one out of bed, kind of just dragging a little bit. Today, he was on his screws today, and I'm telling you what, he had more energy and gumption. That was the word of the house, gumption.
Oh, boy.
Than I've ever seen out of him. So I don't know what he had, but I could really use a shot of that every day.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. Probably good, but not great. I don't know what to say. He was raring to go this morning, and I don't even know exactly what for. He doesn't have school today. He's just got daycare. So I don't know what was on his mind, but he was raring to go.
Excited to have the day off.
Apparently he was ready for the Friday. I don't know what it was, but my wife and I kept looking at each other like, oh my, this guy's got energy I don't know what to do with. So
yeah,
which happens from time to time. Anyway, all right, let's get this show going. Let's get going with our weekend slate here on the Morning Blitz real quickly. It is back to a full weekend of games. We'll run through these real quickly. I'll try to kind of go, I don't know, I think I'll go by sports, I guess. We'll start with college hoops. Tonight you can watch K-State and Nebraska at 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain Time as they play in that championship game of the Hall of Fame Classic. You can listen on 100.3 The Ride or watch on Peacock if you'd like to do that. Also tonight, Colorado men's basketball hosting UC Davis. And Saturday, Colby Community College basketball trying to get their first win of conference play. They're on the road at Seward. So CCC basketball at Seward. No games this weekend for Fort Hays Tech Northwest. College football on Saturday, you got Kansas at Iowa State. That's at 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Flyover Country 97.9 and also on FS1. K-State is at number 12, Utah, 3 Central, 2 Mountain Time on 100.3 The Ride, ESPN2. Nebraska goes to Penn State, Happy Valley, 6 Central, 5 Mountain on NBC. And then Colorado hosts Arizona State, 6 Mountain on ESPN2 for your college football Saturday. And then in the NFL, after last night, Houston beat the Bills 23-19. Did you happen to watch that?
I caught the end of it when the Bills were driving to try and win, but Josh Allen and those guys just not looking great.
8 sacks last night. 8 sacks. Who does Josh Allen think he is? Dylan Raiola getting sacked that many times? Good Lord. That was not good. 23-19, the loss for the Bills. And there, man, I just look at the NFL and think the Bills will be competing for Super Bowls and the Chiefs will be competing for Super Bowls. And this year it's all topsy-turvy in the NFL. It really has been crazy to see that. Speaking of the Chiefs, they play at noon Central, 11 a.m. Mountain Time on 100.3 The Ride and CBS against the Colts. It's a big game. We've talked about that before. The Broncos have a bye. We talked about Weskin tonight against South Barber in the state semifinals, with the winner advancing to the state 6-man championship game. There's also wrestling tonight. Colby Community College men at Southeast Community College in Beatrice, Nebraska, not far from where I'm from. Tri-duel with Otero. And also today, Colby Community College and Fort Hays Tech Northwest women's wrestling teams are at the Missouri Valley Open. And then Saturday, the Tech Tigers and Trojan wrestling teams are at the UNK. That'd be Nebraska Kearney, not Northern Kentucky. Nebraska Kearney Eunice Hospitality Open wrestling there here on Saturday. So there you go. The weekend slate for you with what's going on in local and regional sports this weekend. Not a super full weekend, in comparison to others. But don't worry, we'll make up for it next weekend. Well, next weekend with Thanksgiving, and then 2 weeks from there when you have basketball tipping off at the high school ranks. We'll make up for it then. Plenty of basketball games. Anyway, let's get going with one of our favorite segments of the week. It's time for Picks of the Weekend. And our host, Connor Schuh, is back with us. Give us the update on the records and how many picks we have this week.
We have 13, baker's dozen, of course.
Love a baker's dozen.
So you are sitting at 43 and 43, and right now I'm kind of lagging behind here. I'm 37-49. Got to pick it up before the end of the year.
You got a little bit of work to do, but you have time to get it done.
There is time, and I need
it all starts with a single step, which might be today.
We'll find out. So, as always, we'll start with our regional college football. Kansas State in action, like you said earlier, against number 12 Utah on the road. 17.5 point spread. The over-under is 51.5.
That number is huge. 17.5 is big, but I don't love going to Utah. I think K-State maybe caught a bit of a break that it's not a night game. I think that was a bit of a break. They don't have to play at night. I still don't love K-State's odds in this game, but I am going to say K-State covers. I'll say K-State covers.
Okay.
But 17.5 is big. God, it's a big number.
It is, and I'm thinking about Utah's schedule right now, and they beat Cincinnati by 30 on the road, so I'm going to say they cover. I think they'll be able to handle Kansas State, unfortunately. Okay, next game, Kansas at a banged-up Iowa State team. The spread is 3.5 in favor of State, 55.5 over-under.
I'm going to go with Kansas on the cover here. I think Kansas on the cover. So whether they win or not, I don't know, but I think Kansas. They're healthier. Iowa State is so banged up. And like I said before, Lance Leipold has kind of had Iowa State's number the last few years, whereas Iowa State has kind of had K-State's number. It's kind of been flipped here recently. It's been flipped on the other side with Kansas and Iowa State. Kansas had Iowa State's number, so I'm going with KU. Something about that. I'm going to go with that.
Okay, Iowa State 4 straight losses. Then they beat TCU last week, but
boy, TCU's struggling. Ugh.
I think I'm going to take KU to win outright. Why not?
There you go.
3.5's close. I feel like they can get it done. All right, your Huskers at Penn State, 7.5 point spread in favor of Penn State. I know they're playing at home, but that's a big spread. 45.5.
I'm going to go cover for Nebraska. I don't know about a win, but I'll take a cover.
Okay. God. I mean, it's man, that's tough because that environment is just insane. Beaver Stadium. I mean, I've seen it myself. It's pretty crazy. But man,
I don't know how jazzed up the fans will be for Penn State. I know their athletic director called for a whiteout, but the students are on Thanksgiving break already. I don't know if they're going to be really that enthused to be there. Penn State is playing for a bowl game when they were supposed to be playing for national championship seeding, and Nebraska is playing with the backup quarterback who I know he looked great against UCLA, but that was UCLA. This is going to be a much colder, much more talented Penn State team. I just don't know if I expect TJ Lateef to go out there. Like, there's people in Nebraska talk about, gosh, what if TJ plays so great, that they becomes a quarterback controversy, next year. I'm like, what if he just goes out and plays? I don't know. I don't have those kind of expectations for TJ Lateef. So I'm just going to say I think Nebraska can keep it close. I would have felt really good if the line started out at 10.5. I would have felt a lot better on the cover there, but I'll still stick with my gut. Nebraska can cover the 7.5.
I think Penn State's defense is still too good. I think they're going to win by like 10. I can see it.
All right.
So I have Penn State covering. Number 25, Arizona State favored by 7.5 over the Buffs. I'll just tell you outright. I've got ASU covering.
It's been a tough time for Colorado, although Coach Prime this week did say, I'm the man for the job. We're going to get this right. The thing is, you're not going to get it right this year. I don't think it's happening. Arizona State is banged up. Jeff Sims The traveling quarterback who was at Nebraska for a year and he was atrocious, apparently has found his footing at ASU. I think Arizona State does roll and gets the win as well. ASU.
There you go. So you say cover?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now to NFL, the only game regionally because the Broncos are on bye. Colts at Chiefs. They're favored by 3.5 at home against Indy.
I'm telling you, I know the Chiefs are up against the wall here. They're at home. They got to get this win. Something about the Colts. They're well rested. I got Colts. Indianapolis. On the cover. Indianapolis. +3. Whatever is it? Colts 3.5. +3.5.
I think I agree. I mean, the Colts, they can be questionable at times, but I think they're just a little too good this year, and the Chiefs are not really getting it done. But it's not a confident cover.
I got a question for our bookie here, Connor Schick. So if I say +3.5, and let's say the Colts win, I still get the dub, right?
Say that again.
So if I say +3.5, like the Colts +3.5, that means even if the Colts win, I still get the win, correct? In my pick, I should.
Oh well, yeah, because if they win, they cover.
They cover. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I want to make sure on that. All right.
So
next
all right.
pick.
Now we get into the nitty-gritty of the other stuff. So
the fun picks.
It's been a long time coming. I haven't used this team in a picks yet. You know what's coming. Browns at Raiders. Raiders are favored by a flat 4, not a 4.5. 4.
4.
And
well, guess what?
The over/under is 36.5.
I am hammering the under, baby. Under 36.5.
I like it. And I think the Browns are going to cover. The Raiders are so bad, and I think the Brownies defense is good enough to be able to just hold them down. I know the Jets beat them before, but this is different.
The question I have, does Shadur win his first start from the Browns fan?
I could see it. I mean, he gets
it's either a yes or a no. Does he win his first start?
Let's stamp it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for standing on some side of the fence. Hammer the under, baby. Under 36.5. That is ridiculous.
I've been a Shadur truther. I'll say that. So, all right. Eagles favored by 3.5 at the Cowboys. Oof. At Jerry's World. So,
you know, I was on the show either yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We were talking about the NFL Power 5. I said, the Cowboys could prove something with a win against Philadelphia and put themselves in the playoff hunt really good with the win. They have to prove it, though, and I'm not going to buy it yet. I've got Eagles on the cover.
Okay. Yeah, they have a pretty great defense. The Cowboys do have an explosive offense, but they haven't really scored a ton against great teams yet this year. But let's have some fun. They're at Jerry's World.
Let's go, boys.
The Cowboys cover. That usually gets me into trouble when I say let's have some fun about a pick, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. Bucks at Rams, another flat spread. 7. The Rams are favored by 49.5 is the over-under.
Tampa Bay needs this, but I'm telling you what, the Rams are playing so much confidence right now. I'm going to take LA on the cover of 7.
Whew, wow. Okay. I think the Bucks are going to cover because they have the backs against the wall, and they need every win they can get with the Panthers breathing down their necks. So I've got that. All right. Football, college football. Number 22, Mizzou at number 8, Oklahoma. 7.5 point spread in favor of the Sooners.
This game is fascinating to me. Oklahoma's playing with a lot of confidence. 6.5 at home. It's early. I'm going to say Oklahoma covers, but boy, it's by barely. Oklahoma covers, but barely.
Okay.
I think it's actually a really good game. I really do. I think it's close throughout. Just give me like Oklahoma, like a field goal to make it a 9 or an 8-point game, or something like that.
Okay, I'm with you because I think Mizzou, they haven't beat anybody, and I think Oklahoma is going to be able to handle business with their front 7. So Oklahoma covers in my book as well. Number 15, USC at number 7, Oregon. 10.5 point spread in favor of the Ducks. 59.5-point over-under.
Fight, Trojans, fight. I think they cover the 10.5. That's pretty big. Oregon's not playing with a lot of, I don't know. Oregon is winning, but they're not as dominant as you would think a top 5 team would be in some of these games. And so I think we're going to see, the Trojans cover here. I think it's going to be close. Golly, I don't know. I don't even know who I'd pick if I had to pick one, but I'm going to say Trojans cover, close game.
I think I'm with you again. USC's been playing too well, and Oregon has been too shaky lately, even though they're playing all the way out there in old Oregon. I think USC is going to cover. All right, TCU at number 23, Houston. Houston's only favored by 1.5.
I love these random games you pick out of the sky. These are so great.
Because this one, I like this one because it's ranked Houston, but they're only favored by 1.5 at home.
Great pick. I love it. Let's see. I'm going Cougars. Cougars look way better than TCU. TCU does not look good right now, which is so weird compared to how they looked in that I just remember watching them against North Carolina, and they just beat the socks off of Bill Belichick. But they have just faded down the stretch here as TCU. So I'm going Cougars. Willie Fritz.
Covers, I would think, right?
Yes, please, cover.
I agree. TCU stinks. Okay. All right, now a couple college basketball games to end it. Number 23, Wisconsin, favored by 4.5 on the road at BYU. I got to double check to make sure that's right because that's what I saw last night, but that spread sounds wrong.
Is that Saturday or today?
That is today.
Okay. This is actually at the
BYU.
Delta Center at Salt Lake City, Utah. So this is not in BYU. This is more of a neutral site game.
There it is. BYU by 5.5. That is the cover.
I tell you what, I think point cover in basketball is super, super hard. So I just usually go over here, and I'm going to go under. Under
okay,
61
and that is 161.
161.5. Going under.
Okay. I'm gonna say BYU wins this one. I mean, they would prefer to get a ranked win after getting not beat down by UConn, but they could use an out of conference ranked W, so they'll get it right here. Okay. And finally, Kansas State at Nebraska, on a neutral site versus Nebraska. The Huskers are allegedly favored by 1.5, according to.
Is that what it is? I was curious what the
ESPN.
line is. 1.5. Oh,
I'm surprised Nebraska's favored. I'm taking Kansas State to win.
I am taking K-State to win as well. I'm pulling for my exciting whites, but K-State, I think, has got too much athleticism. Nebraska's going to have to shoot the lights out of the T-Mobile Center to win this game. And I don't know Nebraska has fun stats. Nebraska has made 10 or more threes in 4 of their 5 wins this year. And with their 5-0 start here this year and the 4 wins they had at the end of the crown, they have the longest winning streak in men's college basketball, which is ridiculous to me. But I don't know. K-State and PJ, I don't know if Nebraska can matches up with them well defensively. So Nebraska have to shoot the lights out. It could come down to coaching. I'm just going to roll with K-State in what is pretty much a pick'em game. I would agree. I think it's KSU for the win tonight.
I'm with it.
I hate it. But if I put dollars on it, that's what I'm going with.
Fair enough. Well, that's your picks.
Picks of the weekend. Great stuff again, Connor. Wonderful. All right. We'll see where we all stand next week on the picks of the weekend. Let's get to a break. John Betts, Kansas Pregame Magazine, will join us next, talking about the state football playoffs that are taking place here tonight, the semifinals. That is next here on a Friday edition of the Blitz.
Fall is here, and so are big savings at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation up to $7,000 off with eligible GMC loyalty. Check out the 26 GMC Arcadia 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. On the Chevy side, the 2026 Equinox is 0% APR, and the 26 Colorado Trail Boss gets $500 customer cash or 3.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. Harvest the savings this fall at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
At F&B Bank, we believe local businesses are the heart of our community. That's why we're more than just your bank. We're your neighbor, your customer, and your biggest supporter. From the corner cafe to the hardware store downtown, we're walking the same streets, shopping the same shops, and investing in the same future, yours. We're here, we're local, and we're always in your corner. F&B Bank, banking built on community, member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
This is Austin Wright with the Anderson Trade Group and your morning market update. It is November 21st. December corn, 425 3/4. March 26 corn, 436 3/4. May 26 corn, 444. December KC wheat, 507 3/4. March 26 KC wheat, 523 1/2. May 26 KC wheat, 536 1/2. January soybeans, 1119. March 26 soybeans, 1129 1/4. May 26 soybeans, 1139. Dow Jones futures are currently up 251 points at 46,076. S&P 500 futures are currently up 30 points at 6,588. NASDAQ futures are currently up 96 points at 24,227. Gold futures are currently up $19 at $4,079. Crude is currently down 69 cents at 58.31. For your grain marketing needs or more information on our freedom pricing tools, you can reach the Kansas City office, Jared Loft, Tyler Gosch, Tom Slamuto at 913-748-3000. In Colorado, John Henke, John Stiles, 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
Rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
From the headlines to the highlights.
It's good! The Wildcats are champions of the Big 12!
This is the Morning Blitz.
Rain continuing to fall outside the KKCI studios here in Goodland. I think we've had almost 60 points, pretty close to that. I've seen other places around an inch over further east. I think Oakley had over an inch of rain, so it's great. Don't have to water the lawn the rest of the fall. This will be the last precipitation before Christmas, more than likely.
We'll take it.
So I'll take any precipitation that we can get. Let's get to the phones. Waiting patiently on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline, our good friend from Kansas Pregame Magazine. That would be John Betts. John, good morning. How are we doing today?
I am exhausted. I was up proofing the winter magazine until midnight, and then I started again this morning at about 4:45 to get done to send a print here in about 4 hours.
Well, I appreciate you squaring some time away for us. I know you're very busy. It's a very busy time of year. Well, I guess we'll just start off with that. How is the winter edition coming along? How did it come along this year?
Well, if I'm being honest, we've had some struggles here at the end with breaking in some new people and gathering information. And but I don't want you. Nobody wants to hear me whine about things. You go with the hand that you're dealt, and accuracy is really important to me. So combing through all this information to make sure that we get the right information in there is a big deal, and it takes a lot of time, and hopefully people enjoy that about what we do. But overall, it's going to be 128 pages. Is actually, I think, the biggest that we've ever had, and also with like a single gate fold flip out, similar to what we did with football. And so I think it's going to look really cool. And of course, it's going to have literally probably thousands of names of kids from all across the state, and it'll be a special keepsake. I just got to get it out the door.
John Betts, our guest here, Kansas Pregame Magazine publisher. John, when you look at the at this edition, I feel like almost every year you try to do something a little special with each edition. Is there anything with this winter edition?
Well, one thing we're really excited about is a profile on veteran coaches and veteran basketball coaches specifically. Keith Riley at Hill City is in his 57th season. That means his first year was 5 years before I was born.
That's amazing.
And I think of myself as kind of an old man. And Keith Riley and Mark Applegate at South Gray, and Kurt Kinnaman at McPherson, and Shelley Hoyt at Eureka, who had such dominant runs up in your neck of the woods in Hoxie. And that's something I'm really proud of, and was really fun. We actually got them all together for a photo shoot. There are certainly some more out there that we would love to include at some point. But it was fun to get that group of coaches together. And would you believe Keith Riley and Mark Applegate had never met prior to our photo shoot?
Well,
in 5 decades of coaching in the same half of the state, and Keith actually farms in Dighton every summer, not all that far from Montezuma. And those two legendary basketball coaches had never met in person until our photo shoot.
Great story. Great side story there, for sure. No, that's neat. Super, super awesome. But before we get to the basketball season, we have to wrap up a football season. And it's been a while since we talked to you. I'm kind of curious, what are some things that have stood out to you about this football season to this point in time?
Well, I think I did an interview with somebody like 3 weeks ago where I said, I think we're going to see some different people in some of the title games. And, 5A is going to have that flavor, but, you look at 6A and you've got Gardner, Edgerton, Manhattan, and Derby all in the mix again. Andale looks like Andale and Topeka Hayden looks like a repeat matchup. Southeast to Saline, although I think Hoisington is really good, but Southeast to Saline and Nemaha Central may be a repeat matchup, and it maybe it will be very similar to what it was in the past. And I love the idea of seeing some new teams. You like to see kids reap the benefits of their hard work. And 3 weeks ago, I really thought there were some teams that were going to make some noise, make some waves. And it's not over. It's not over yet. There's still a few teams out there that can get it done, just like the Hoisington team that I mentioned.
John Betts, Kansas Pregame Magazine, joining us here on the Morning Blitz on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. What are some of the games that are happening this semifinal round that you're really intrigued to see how they come out?
Well, there are quite a few games that I'm kind of personally connected to. I live in Lincoln, and Lincoln is having the best season in the history of the school. Prior to this season, they'd never won a playoff game. They only previously, in the last 80, it was 81. was the last time that I think they had an undefeated regular season, which they went 8-1 in the regular season this year. But, never made it this deep in the playoffs before. And they are playing Sylvan Lucas Unified, which is 15 miles to the west of us right here in the county. It is going to be a fantastically well-attended game, although we've had Beloit, I know, has had 2 inches, and we have had, a similar amount of rain. So it'll be interesting to see if that carries into the afternoon, the evening, and discourages people from coming out tonight. But then in the 1A classification, my hometown of Smith Center, after going 4-5 last year, Mike Rogers retooled his offense. Darren Sass, the former head coach, comes back on staff. They get some kids in some different places and rolling to an unbeaten season, and they without a doubt are going to have their sternest test of the year in Sterling. That is an outstanding team with a really fantastic running back in Zane Farney, and it will be interesting to see if Smith Center can pass the test. So those are 2 games that are kind of close to my heart, if you will.
Oh, understandably so. I was going to ask you about your Smith Center if you didn't bring it up. I want to know, you were talking about, like you said, Lincoln, for example, winning their first playoff games ever in the program session. And then a little bit ago, you talked about, you still see some of the same teams that you always see. What do you think is more difficult to do? Is it for the teams to just continue to keep dominating and doing what they do, or for a team to break in there like they have never done before, like this Lincoln squad?
Well, I've actually coached at Waukene, Russell, and Lincoln in my time as being an assistant coach over the last 30 years or so. And it's absolutely the most difficult thing is to break through. There's a lot of people that talk about how hard it is to maintain the championship level. And there's certainly truth to that. But usually, you look at a Joel Appleby at Mill Valley, you look at a Roger Barta at Smith Center, any number of legendary coaches over the years. Generally, to have the success that they've had, they've implemented layers of processes that deliver what happens. Junior high and youth coaches being on the same page as what they're doing at the high school level, feeder programs, attracting kids. That's a huge deal in the world that we live in now. I don't think people like talk about recruiting. Mill Valley doesn't recruit. It's just that people want to be part of those programs. So their kids go to those schools that feed into it. To me, as long as you've done the legwork on the front end and have built that consistent process, I think it's easier to maintain than it is that first time. And we talk about Lincoln, they have been just a middle of the road or worse team for as long as I've been around them, which is 25 years now. And when they went to El Saline last week, I really thought that they would lose because I knew that they would be put into a situation where they would be tested, because it was really the first time where they didn't have absolutely the best athletes on the field. And they got down 10 and something happened at halftime and they came back out and they found a way to get it done. And it's that type of, that's the breakthrough that has to happen, is what makes us believe and be able to adjust and not be intimidated by the situation to where we can get over the hump. And it was really exciting to see that to happen for Lincoln.
John Betts can be our guest from Kansas Pregame Magazine. What team or two do you think is probably the most talented team in the state of Kansas right now?
Well, Manhattan looks really incredible right now when they have J.J. Dunnigan on the field. And let me tell you, if you haven't watched yet, take a little bit of your free time and go look for some film of J.J. Dunnigan, because this guy is Travis Hunter 2.0, except for he's like 6'2", 6'3", 190 pounds. And he catches passes in their offense. He runs the ball off of jet sweeps and various looks that they give him. And he returns in their special teams games. And he is just an incredible player. And of course, there's been some, not controversy, but, KU fans are really upset that he's decommitted and went to Miami. And that's a conversation for, another episode. But Manhattan looks really good. Of course, Great Bend looks outstanding. And Ian Premer is very similar to J.J. Dunnigan, and his all-around athleticism is very similar to Lincoln Cure and his all-around athleticism. It has been really exciting to see some of these elite level, multi-faceted, multi-talented weapons come out of Kansas schools in this past couple of years here, because I think in the past, typically it's been a lot of offensive lineman types that we talk about, linebacker types. And so it's kind of exciting to be thought of as, I've kind of had the discussion going on social media that maybe the state of Kansas has become the tight end state, producing some of the top tight ends in the country. So, Manhattan and Great Bend are a couple of teams that are really exciting to watch.
One game that we're going to have our eyes on real close out here is the 6-man semifinal between Weskin and South Barber. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. What are your thoughts on it?
When South Barber lost so badly to Cunningham in the opener, I kind of wrote them off. And that was probably a mistake on my part. I think it has a lot to do with Coach Cantrell, who's been there for quite a while, probably still adapting to the 6-man game. He's got a son. I think it's Guerin that's an important part of what that team does. And he's got a really talented group of athletes. And so I definitely think that they're in a situation where they can close the gap between what has been an elite team. But it will be interesting to see. And everybody wants to talk about 8-man being a speed game. 6-man is the speed game. So do they have somebody that can catch Carson Wright? Maybe the fastest player in 6-man football. That will probably tell the tale of the game. And all these games, something that we, maybe haven't talked about is how much are the conditions going to impact things? Like Lincoln, they are a deep ball team. You're going to see them take 10 shots of 30 yards or more in any given game. If it's raining, are they still going to do that? Are they going to have their footing? When a Carson Wright tries to cut back, is he going to be able to get the traction that he needs to make guys miss? So the weather is going to be a big factor, which is one of the fantastic things about late season playoff football in the state of Kansas is you never know. I mean, one day it can be 90 with a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and the next day it can be 6 inches of snow on the ground. So the weather may be the biggest component of things tonight as well.
He once again is John Betts of Kansas Pregame Magazine. John, it's always great to catch up, my friend. Enjoy the semifinals. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks for the time, and everybody head out to KansasPregame.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, especially, is where we do most of our work. And pretty soon here next week, sometime we'll be dropping the cover, and then the first week of December, the 8th annual winter edition covering basketball and wrestling in the state will be available.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Once again, great stuff there. John Betts of Kansas Pregame Magazine. Boy, some interesting games here coming up tonight. Hodgman County at Victoria, Hill City at South Central. Some very interesting games. Let's see. Where is it? The Smith Center at Sterling is another. Of course, Weskin at South Barber. I was going to look real quickly at a couple of these right now. According to the Massey ratings, Connor, South Barber is an 11.5 point favorite, according to this. Great Bend is a 24.5 point favorite over Salina Central. Let's see here. We talked about Lincoln, Sylvan Lucas a lot. Lincoln actually a 6.5 point favorite in that game. Let's see. Hill City, a 2-touchdown favorite over South Central. Victoria, 2-touchdown favorite over Jetmore Hodgman County. Yeah, some interesting games. Andale, of course, 32.5 point favorite over Rock Creek in the semifinals.
Jeez.
Let's see. And Southeast Saline, a 10.5-point favorite of Hoiston. That could be a really interesting game. Really, really could be. So some fascinating games tonight. Once again, of course, we'll have our eyes closest on the South Barber-Weskin game in Weskin. That game kicks off tonight at 7. That's at 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 Central time when that game kicks off there from Weskin. All right, we'll take our final break, come back, and wrap up the show next during the Morning Blitz.
Winter weather in northwestern Kansas can change in a hurry. From blowing snow and icy roads to dangerous wind chills, conditions can turn severe before you know it. When storms strike, turn to NWKS Radio, your trusted source for weather alerts and local coverage. Stay safe, stay prepared, and keep your radio tuned right here for the latest updates all winter long. Severe weather on NWKS Radio is courtesy of Roof Masters of Colby, along with Andrew Flanagan of Farm Bureau Financial Services.
From hard water to pure perfection, Shepner's Water Conditioning has the solution. They install and service softeners, reverse osmosis systems, and bottled water delivery. For water you can trust, call Shepner's Water Conditioning in Colby and Goodland today.
This season, Cornerstone Orthodontics is proud to cheer on our local athletes. Just like great sports teams, a winning smile takes teamwork, dedication, and the right game plan. At Cornerstone Orthodontics, we're here to help you and your family score big with confident, healthy smiles that last a lifetime. Visit us at cornerstoneorthodontics.com. Locations are in Colby, Hayes, and Great Bend.
Add light to your life with a large basement window. Egress Windows, where you'll add natural light, safety, and value to your home. HFC Egress Company. They've been installing egress windows for many years around here. HFC Egress. You'll find them on Facebook. Different daily and evening specials will save you time and money at Twister's Bar and Grill, including their Hamburger Day on Wednesday, where all burgers are on sale. Twister's on East College Drive by the Blue Water Tower in Colby. Great weekend entertainment on their dance floor. I'm telling you, they were framed and they look good. Check out the arrivals of new frames. What a selection of eyeglass frames in right now at Scott City Eye Care. They remind you to have routine eye exams. Dr. Gooden and the staff saying thank you for your business.
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
Another fascinating stat I pulled here during the break, I was looking this up. Tonight's game between Weskin and South Barber. Talk about two teams that play fantastic defense. Both teams have had 7 games this year where they've allowed 12 points or less at this point in time. Let's see. And Weskin has 4 shutouts this year. 4 shutouts for South Barber. So defense could play a huge role. Might see a lower scoring game. Maybe take the under in the points. Especially with the weather. The weather and the two great defenses, take the under, baby.
True.
Might want to do in that situation. Anyway, wrapping up a show here real quickly. We talked about it a little bit early in the show. K-State and Nebraska will face off tonight in the College Hoops Classic Champion. Yeah, so Hall of Fame Classic Championship game. I don't know if Nebraska stacks up well in this game. I don't know. Athletically, K-State's going to have the advantage. Nebraska's going to have to shoot the lights out to get it done.
Yeah, I think the question is who's going to guard PJ Haggerty. I don't know,
and that's a great question. I don't know.
I don't know if any of those guys have the
Sammy Hoiberg's going to give it a shot, my guess, but I don't know.
Probably. I mean, he's a good defender, but man, I don't know if he's got it. I think Nebraska is going to have to outscore him if they want to win.
I would agree.
Which is maybe possible,
it's
but
possible.
It'd be tough. I mean,
I think Nebraska's going to put up some points. I just don't. I think K-State's athleticism and they're going to get some second chance points at rebounding. I just get concerned about that. Now, if Nebraska gets hot from the outside, it's a different game. But I got to ask a question about college basketball. This year, new rule. They've adapted the NBA rule of the continuation. Do you like it?
I honestly, that's one that I'm like, whatever. Like, take it or leave it. Like, the continuation, it can be a little annoying sometimes to see a foul that looks like it was way before a shot, and then you end up getting an and one out of it just because some guy takes an extra step and just throws it up. But
I don't know if I love it. I like the differences between the game, and PJ Haggerty's a master at that. He did it last night a couple times. He bumped into someone and just flung the ball like it wasn't even a shot. He just
Obviously I still enjoy the NBA, but I really don't like it when guys just get touched and they just chuck it at the rim. That like never fails to just bother me in some way, seeing that it's like be better than that. Like I know why guys do it. Like I don't blame them at all, but it's annoying.
Nope, I hear you. Yeah, pray for me tonight. If I lose, then I got to live with that in my household. My wife being a K-State grad, so I can't. I play for me tonight. Let's hopefully get a win. Go Big Red. Yeah. All right, that'll do it. We got to get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
What did you think of the performance of your Buckeyes last night against Western Michigan? I mean, I don't know what you can draw from that, but
I was actually impressed. I mean, they played good defense against Notre Dame last week or on Sunday, and they continued to keep the pressure up on that end, and defense was really the biggest question about the team, and they've been playing hard on that side. And you know what? They made it hard on Western Michigan after they got scored on by some low major teams in their first couple of games. So I take it as a good sign getting a 34-point win against an okay MAC team. That's stamp of approval right there.
Couple quick notes here. Royals reach a 1-year deal with right-hander Alex Lang, who was released by the Detroit Tigers.
Have fun with that, Royals fans.
One of my buddies who's a big Royals fan was like, this is not good.
No, I've seen a lot of Alex Lang being a Guardians guy, and he's I think he was a good prospect, but I don't think it's getting put together.
It's amazing how, when you play guys guys stay in the division because they see them all the time. So they kind of trade teams. If they're going to switch teams, they just kind of go to same teams in the division. Like, we saw that guy. We'll take him.
Yeah, that's so Royals fans they already know.
Yeah. not a lot of excited Royals fans for sure.
It could be okay. Right.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it's a change of scenery that does it for him. We'll find out. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it again on Monday. Next week, kind of a choppier week, but we're back on the early portion. So check back in on Monday for weekend winners and losers and recapping the sports weekend. For Connor Schuh, I'm Ross Volkmer. Have a great weekend. See you back on Monday with the Blitz.